Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It is Marvin speaking. We're going to go into the Streamline community. Thank you very much for all your support. Lisa Payne, 1A up thanked the cleaner. Who do you think was the cleaner? Not the one who cleans a room, IMO. Well, I think personally, I think he could have been talking about Roman or PP. I think for different reasons, but I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts on that, Lisa? Because like I said, I do think there are people's names that haven't been mentioned because they're being protected. Isa sounds like Isla. Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Rose. Could it be Roman? We need to Google pictures. I mean, there's a massive possibility. A lot of people said it may have been Roman, or maybe one of Roman's henchmen, Lindsay. Lindsay goes on to say, so many people around those surroundings go missing. People are saying about a serial killer around those areas, with so many going missing and found in rivers. Just read it today around these areas, and where Jack is missing, being near. Praying he is found safe soon. And this is obviously the young lad Sebastian, only 21, from Chippenham, who's been missing, and I hope that he's found safe very, very soon and the family get answers. Thank you very much for that, Lindsay. She goes on to say, remember those, wonder how they have all got to all be deleted. Yeah, there was loads of messages, absolutely loads of messages. It's like I said, same Leanne, not on the case like she was before. I thought she was absolutely brilliant, and a lot of the information she was getting in the early days was absolutely brilliant. Chopsy Mish, how you doing? Great supporter of Streamline Entertainment. I keep saying the same thing. IMO, this was a huge setup, and I believe the missing bag, which had the phone in it, was all part of it. Everyone seems in on it but Jay, unless the last moments when he began to realise something awful was about to unfold. This is key to this case, the look on his face where he's probably the rugs that he'd been given a kicking in, and then he realises there's nothing he can do about it, and he's just realised that nobody is on his side there, and which is an awful thing situation to be in. But he was so out of it, he had no chance of looking after himself. Seeing Jay in this footage was heartbreaking. No one to protect him and keep him safe. He was only 19, not much more than a kid really. The fake friends who he was away with have a hell of a lot to answer, in my opinion. They let him down in the worst way possible. That's well said, Mish. I totally agree there. And then lied their way out of it. MAO. Where are they all now? Moved on don't give an F. I don't see any of them shouting out about getting justice for Jay, or how much they still miss him, etc. I hope karma is coming for each of involved. It will catch up to them. We have to continue to be patient. Thank you, Marvin. Thank you, Mish. That was absolutely brilliant. I think the truth will come out. Janet, we all seen the video but think it's been removed. Where Lucy said you said he wouldn't get tabbed. That's still out there somewhere, Janet, to be honest with you, the beach video, and it is very, very clear. Some of them are very, very clear to actually hear what she said. And basically Ayup's nickname was mentioned as well. Creamfields, quack quack. Creamfields, they were all there a year before. Yeah, wasn't it one of the TikTokers that put them online? I'm sure Ayub was there, Lucy was there, and I'm sure Brad and Brandon was there as well. So it just proves that they all know each other. I think it was Jay and Brad fighting on the beach. That's interesting, Janet. What made you say that? Why would Brad be fighting Jay? Was it over the bag that was missing? I think he was punched in the jaw. That's why his jaw looks broken. Interesting. Looks like a different type of sunglasses in leaving the club video. Do people really wear them on their foreheads? Yeah, it was weird how many in there, like girls with sunglasses on. I think they were all in and didn't want their faces to be on camera for some reason. and the sunglasses were a cover. We've seen Lucy wear a hell of a lot of them in a club, and while it's dark as well, it sometimes doesn't make sense. Karen, Rob, don't think understand how the drug world works. It would be a small amount if they made it 30 grand for the incompetence, which GoFundMe was set up for, but not paid on me. The 30 grand was the one time, but not handed over. No actions were taken. I also think the media attention played a bigger part in this as well. My opinions, of course, also it was a batch drugs for Lancaster. It was obviously to everyone 30 grand was sitting within the time of the GoFundMe. The public made sure 30 was there on time. Drug dealers don't play games when it comes to their money. It's very, very true, but it was said that Jade owed money from back home and it had something to do with Brandon. And I was told that back in the early days. Loads of messages, and I do think that has some truth in it. The name, Vanessa said, oh, thank you very much, Karen, for that. Vanessa Sedgwick goes on to say that name, Christianity, I've seen comments on Dunk's vid, I think. Interesting. I just want to look at the reply. Don't mean anything bad. Just recognise the name. That's all. Interesting stuff. I have seen that as well, to be honest with you. Creamfield festivals. Yeah, there's a lot of history there in photos that some of the people who said they didn't know each other or tried to lie and say they didn't know each other in the Jay Slater case is come to the fore now. As there are pictures of them at Creamfields Festival, which someone has put out there on a video. I don't think it's Rome, but it's the same guy who was also seen via drone standing on the edge of a cliff via a drone stand. That's odd. That's very, very odd. Zoom into the icons at the top of the message, see what they see what they say or what they arm off. Interesting stuff. I think if it's seen, they want us to see it. It's a bag was a cover up for the revenge attack, I think. Yeah, everything seemed strategically set up, and it is very, very strange in why they went to so much trouble for a young lad. That's what makes me think there was a few more things involved. Lewis Piovisana. Body sadly found in the police. This was a video I've done the other day, and it was very, very sad because he looked scared, as though he's been chased or trying to get away from someone. He threw his phone as well. It was very, very bizarre, and I hope that this is resolved, and the person who was chasing him, or the dodgy taxi driver it could be, I hope the police really sort this out, because like I said, this is getting bizarre how many people are going missing in the water. Richard, how you doing? Potter probably put A up to fabricating the story. Well, we know that he's got a place not far from Masca, and that's not talked about too much. I think Potter paper is something to do with Jay's death, you know. There is a possibility, but like I said, sometimes names for some reason aren't mentioned as many as others due to power, I think. Colin says the thing with the messages are that they do flow as you read them. There's no point that you look at to question what's said, which is way different to the narrative that they all put out holes right through it all. Very, very true. Some of the not all the messages make sense, but some of them they do. They sort of fit things we've been looking at. And like I said, a lot of people said a lot of the early stuff, there was a lot of truth in that, where people who knew what happened to Jay were putting it out there. Thank you for that, Colin and Richard. Ellie goes, I wonder if he was really down and said something to Brad that hasn't come out yet, and he just walked and walked. Probably lightly, but just a thought. Just can't get my head around it. Yeah, it is a good point, to be honest with you. But I do think that Jay felt isolated, and that Brad, Brandon and Lucy, especially on that last evening, were a little bit standoffish, as though I think Jay realised that something wasn't kind of right, but maybe tried just to play it out and then get back to his hotel. That was my thoughts. But like I said, he was just too hammered to do it. And who got him in that state? Because the rest of them don't look in the state. They look completely sober. Lindsay goes on, you're right, these mountains have no signal. Lies everywhere, totally. As soon as he goes off road, you ain't going to get no signal. I've had people, Streamliners, who's been out there to Masca and said you'll be lucky to get a signal even on the road. If Jay got killed for stealing something, then it was set up to make it look like he did. Definitely a setup for TH. Easy to set Jay up to take a bag or plant a watch and let some other sucker do the dirty work for them. Very, very true. Yeah, very true. I agree. And this is why they've got no remorse and can say, oh, it was nothing to do with me. Jay basically fell to his own death by being silly and walking into the mountains, which we don't believe. Sheldon's Sussex. I rewatched the body in the river at Morocco. The body looks to be very thin. I've always leaned towards the body in the river being Jay. Ali Harris has said the same thing on this as well, and having his organs removed for sale. This is my opinion. The whole Maruba thing is so shady. I also think we all agree that Jay's fingerprints could not have been possible for identifying him. So this means he could have been identified from his wristband. Yeah, I agree. That's a really good point, Sheldon. Thank you. Police over there at all take backhands and turn a blind eye. Yeah, well, it happened. And as soon as it was just a missing persons investigations, and Ayub and his friend whoever his friend was allowed to go home. We're not even too sure it was Rocky. Yeah, it's money. We've had racist ex-British CID tell them that the Guardia Civil don't mind taking a backhand. And like I said, it was a missing persons investigation by so many reports by his friends that he went up to the mountains. And we haven't seen any proof that he was actually there. So I hope these documentaries and films coming out tell us a little bit more, but I just don't think they will. I really don't. Katrina says, I don't think he's even in the water. This is Jack O'Sullivan. I don't think he is either, to be honest with you. If he was, then I think he may have been put back in there. But Katrina, we just have to hope that technically he's not in that water and that Jack is still alive somewhere. Leslie goes on to say, I just don't understand how MW or anyone else can be releasing any documentary regarding Jay's case if there are still so many unanswered questions, especially now that quite a few creators have uncovered more and more regarding this case. I feel, if anything, a documentary will confuse the situation even more. Yeah, I agree. That's a really, really good point. Really, really good point, that is. But like I said, we'll have to see what new information he's got out of it, because I don't think he's got many, to be honest with you. Buenos Tardes, Marvin. Yeah, hi, Linda. I hope you're doing well, and thank you very much for your support. Someone said, please, no more Mariana. Mariana's brilliant. She's been on the J Slater a long time, so please go and support. I like Mariana. I've got no problems with her, and she's welcome to comment. And I do play a lot of her videos because I think she comes out with some good points. Mary Smith, I think all the three big ones are out to spread lies, arguments, and to confuse us. Ayub, Chris Luggy, 8-9 months down the line, the same big three. Nothing from no one else. Makes you wonder what they were telling MW2. If the great point of getting there first and checking later statements. Good point. Very, very good points. Who's Callum? Callum is a TikToker. Callum Fahim. You'll find him on TikTok. He was out in the early days searching for Jay Slater, and then was sadly scared off the island, and now he by basically some of the not nice people who are also searching for Jay. I think Callum was asking too many good questions that they didn't like, I think. Marion goes on to say, an interesting thing has just happened in Tenerife. The devilfish that lives in the abyss that has never been seen just rose to the surface. Not too sure what we're getting at there. Bless him. Says that's brilliant, Sheldon. This track doesn't pass them at a junction. Yeah, that's true. And see one car. I see one car in car, one over a wall and one in a boot. Yeah, that's interesting stuff. I've had another good look at that video. Really, really interesting stuff. On the Husty sisters, I absolutely believe that someone else is involved in this. I think the sister perhaps involved with something that their family knew nothing about, and it ended in an absolutely horrendous way. Yeah, I agree. Something was not quite right there. Bobby says Callum makes coin. I'm not too sure what he makes, to be honest with you. Sandra goes on to say it was that night before. I've always thought this. Yeah, the night before, it's always been questioned. I mentioned it early days, which got people thinking. Thank you for that. Donna goes on to say that doesn't look like Rocky to me. Who is the Rocky guy, really? Well, like I said, there's so much suspicion and mixing up of people in this case, and voters being manipulated to make it look like something else, or to even make it not, to confuse us. And this is what I think Ayub and the confused crew are trying to do. Callum is only very clever in the way he keeps making shows, gets views and gives nothing away. The documentaries won't tell us nothing new. No, I agree. I'm sorry, but why should people send Callum all the info and all the videos he doesn't share it or speaks of it? How do we know he's not on Team Rachel and is actually told no one anything at all? It's a good point, but like I said, let's see what he comes up with at the end of that. I do think he did go out there to find justice for Jay Slater. I really, really do. Michelle goes, I still think the beach video is a part of poor Jay's demise. I truly believe that. Truly believe that. Really, really do. So people, that is all the messages. Thank you, Rachel Jones, Marie Smith, and so many. Linda, Katrina, Leona, Sheldon, Sher. What did she say, Sher? Oh, if Jay got killed for stealing something, then it was set up to make it look like he did. Definitely a setup from TH. Easy to set Jay up, a big part of a plan to watch and let some of the sucker do the dirty work for them. Very, very true. That's a really, really good point. Lindsay, thank you. Vid00, thank you. Ellie, Molly, Colin, thank you for your brilliant messages. Richard, as usual. Mish, thank you. Chopsy Mish, thank you very much. Pinky Pup, thank you. Karen Rob, thank you. Janet, thank you very much, people. Chopsy Mish, Lindsay, so many of you. Lisa Payne, thank you, supporting me for a long, long time. We march on and we will get justice for Jay Slater somehow. Lots more coming, people, and lots more other cases to talk about as well. And there's going to be hopefully an update on Sebastian. I'll look for some more information on him, and we will continue to discuss the Jay Slater case as well. Have a good Sunday evening, people, whatever you're doing.